So I wanted to make a project to celebrate the 100th anniversary of the armistice that ended World War One. I had a number of different projects in mind, but I finally settled on a French nail. And a French nail is a type of weapon used in the trenches of World War One by the French, although other sides had similar weapons. As their rifles with bayonets were too long for the narrow confines of the trenches. So I started off with a piece of 3/8 round rod, which is something like 8 millimeters, I believe. And I didn't really start off with any set measurements. I just sort of did everything by eye. And I think at the end, I think it did turn out too large in terms of the handguard. But this was the first one that I had ever made. Right here, I'm just putting in the bends for the handguard. So they're just simple 90-degree bends. I'm sure those of you in the audience that are quite experienced at blacksmithing would notice that I'm taking a lot more heats than maybe I should have, but so it is. I also, it wasn't completely hot as I was bending it, just because I didn't particularly want to wait for my forge to heat up to the full temperature. I mean, this is just a quick little project. So I'm chiseling the cutoff of the bar at 45 degrees, so my point is already formed by the time it's removed. And I originally had an aluminum plate for this, but I couldn't find it when I was making the video, so it's just sort of a guessing game to see how close I am or how little material is left so that it will break off. And I'm just straightening up the end of the bar for later use. I'm going to start flattening the, I guess you could call it the blade of the knife. It's just to give myself a landing place to put my bevels on. Going back to World War One, the French nail was one of many different types of weapons used by all sides in trench raiding and very close combat type roles. So shortened knives were popular, maces, shotguns, a hugely varied array of weapons, and varying also greatly in the skill of manufacture, ranging from extremely crudely made ones to quite well made ones. And I'm no historian, so feel free to correct me in the comments below if you notice something wrong with what I'm saying. So I'm hammering the bevels right now, and again, this is maybe taking me more heats than it should, but there, it's getting there. Notice that I'm also using bolt jaw tongs. Those are really quite nice for grabbing it with that bend. And now I'm using a saddle. Due to the fact that my anvil does not have sharp, crisp edges, it's quite old. The saddle just helps because it allows you to meet the other bevel edge quite closely, as it has a pretty sharp edge on it, unlike my anvil. In terms of just regular forging, I do not like the saddle at all, because it tends to bounce around, and it just feels like it's robbing a lot of energy from each blow I give. You can probably see from the way the scale is dancing around on the surface. You might also wonder why I'm not brushing off to scale or anything like that, and to be honest, I don't really care. It doesn't need a good surface finish. The scale is probably not going to get too deeply embedded in this thing. And it's certainly something I can live with. And now I'm just doing the final straightening. Just crisping everything up, making sure it's straight. With me, this always seems to take more heat than I think it will. Generally I think, I'll get this done in one heat, and at the end of that it's just a little bit crooked and I bend it slightly the other way, but it goes pretty quickly on this one. And that's it. Thanks for watching.